This is so sad.
I'm sorry, Jax. For...
So, you probably saw this. Just for 1 second in episode 5, Ragatha's face glitches. And that was enough. Because suddenly, everywhere, people were convinced that Ragatha is about to abstract. TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, tons of theories, all pointing in the same direction. She's next. The signs are there, it's happening! And I think they might be right, and I want to give my reasons. Hi, I'm Sophie Stardrop, and welcome back to the channel. If you've seen my previous video, thank you so much for watching it, sharing your thoughts, and just being open to the conversation. I know that video got mixed reactions, and some people really connected with it, and others didn't, and that's okay. These characters mean different things to all of us, but ever since that video, there's something I haven't been able to stop thinking about, and that's Ragatha's glitch. So let's get into it. Before we fully begin, I just want to make a small correction and a quick clarification about the last Ragatha video. First, the correction. I don't think abusive was the right word to describe Ragatha. Abuse is a strong word, and I don't think it reflects how I think of her character. What I meant, and what I still believe, is that she's flawed, and sometimes those flaws affect the people around her. And second, the clarification. That video wasn't just about Ragatha's dynamic with Jax, it was about how her behavior impacts characters like Pomi, Gangle, and Jax as a whole. Jax might have been the last example I mentioned, but if you go back to previous episodes, both Pomi and Gangle have shown signs of discomfort around Ragatha. Not necessarily because she's done something bad to them, but because they seem unsure about her. It's that feeling of not knowing whether someone is being genuinely kind or just putting on a smile because they think they have to, and that tension has been quietly building. So, with that being said, I think I finally understand why Ragatha's behavior felt a bit unsettling to me. She acts as Putney's antithesis. Not in a villainous way, but as someone who represents the opposite philosophy within the story. In storytelling, an antithesis isn't always antagonist. It can be a character who shows us a different perspective to the main character, like a mirror of sorts. Putney is reflective. She listens carefully and tries to apply what she learns from other characters. She expresses her feelings, her fears, her confusion, and wants to connect through empathy. Ragatha does almost the opposite. She tries to keep everything positive and avoid uncomfortable truths. She often hides what's really going on behind the smile. And while that can come across as kind and hopeful, it also builds an emotional distance between herself and the other members of the circus, heck, even me. Pomni creates a space of vulnerability. Ragatha closes it off. Seeing the story this way makes Ragatha feel less like just a side character and more like the other side of the coin, so to speak. This difference between Ragatha and Pomni becomes even clearer when you look at how each of them responds to stress, fear, and confusion. Pomni, while scared, talks about it. She questions things, she reflects, she opens up. Even in her panic, she tries to make sense of what's happening by asking, connecting. Ragatha does the opposite. She hides what she feels under a layer of cheerfulness. And we know from the series that this didn't come from nowhere. Her mother treated her very poorly, mentally and emotionally. But it's also important to say this. Having trauma does not make someone blameless. Ragatha's behavior still affects the people around her, even if she means well. She makes Pomni visibly uncomfortable in episode 5, and we've seen characters like Gangle care deeply about how Ragatha perceives them, even while feeling emotionally distanced from her like in episode 4. That kind of fake smile, even if it's meant to keep the peace, can create tension. It shuts down vulnerability. It makes it harder for others to be honest, and harder for Ragatha herself to truly connect. Ragatha learned to stay upbeat, to keep smiling. It's understandable, and quite frankly, very heartbreaking. But when you look at Ragatha and Pomni side by side, you can feel that quiet tension. One character who copes by connecting, and one who copes by concealing. And in a world like the Digital Circus, with abstraction as a lingering fear between everyone, only one of those paths leads to support. But before we continue, if you've enjoyed this analysis so far and you want to support me, I do have a Ko-fi, where you can help me out directly. Your support also helps me keep working on my project, a game called HeartStrings, a Yandere Story, which I talk about on devlogs at the end of every month. It's a small way to help me keep doing what I love, and I appreciate it deeply. Now going back to the video. Something that's been circling around the community after episode 5 is a theory. Ragatha might be the next one to abstract. The idea came from a small detail. Just for a moment, Ragatha's face glitches. It was quick, but people noticed, and many started connecting it with her behavior and what the show has been setting up. And I do actually agree, but not just because of the glitch. Ragatha's behavior fits a pattern we've seen before. The idea of someone keeping everything inside until it overwhelms them. It seems very similar to what happened with Kaufmo. We never met him, but from what we know, it seems like he broke down quietly without warning anyone. No one in the circus knew Kaufmo was abstracted. From all we know, Kaufmo just went to his room. We only knew because Jax, Pomi, and Ragatha went to check up on him, but not because he shared it with everyone. That quiet build-up feels familiar. It also lines up with some of the symbolisms that can be seen in Glitch Productions' post. After episode 5 was released, they showed a picture of Ragatha at night, which actually contrasts with Pomi under the sun. I might be reading too much into it, but it feels intentional, at least symbolically. If abstraction really is triggered by emotional isolation, Ragatha could be closer to the edge than she realizes. At this point, I think the signs around Ragatha are becoming harder to ignore. The emotional pattern, the visual symbolism, the small glitch, even if it's subtle, the setup is there, and it's been building for a while. Whether or not she does abstract, the possibility is scary, and the idea that kindness, when built on repression, can turn into harm is a powerful direction to take the story. If Ragatha truly is Pomi's antithesis, then a breaking point might be what finally forces those two worlds, concealment and connection, to collide. And personally, I think the show has been setting this up from the beginning. Even when Ragatha gets shown appreciation by characters like Pomi in episode 3 or Kingar, Subul, and Gangle in episode 5, maybe focusing too much on keeping the peace has made herself not be at peace. And that might hurt the most. But for now, I think that's all I want to say. Whether you agree or disagree, or you have your own take on Ragatha, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more. And if you'd like to support the channel, coffee is always there too. Every bit helps. Thank you for being here. Remember to drink water, subscribe, hit the like button, share, take care of yourselves, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!